Elite athletes across every major sport increasingly rely on extreme cold water immersion as a daily requirement for staying in the game. The practice promises an immediate reset for the central nervous system, effectively flushing away muscle soreness and restoring a sense of readiness. However, for anyone whose primary goal is building muscle and strength, this exact ritual is actively counterproductive. Feeling fresh immediately after a training session suggests that the body's internal growth signals have been bypassed or silenced before they can take effect. To see how chasing the feeling of recovery can sabotage actual gains, we have to look at the cellular reality of what happens when we lift. Effective strength training generates a specific stress signal within the muscle, serving a purpose far beyond the simple movement of mass. The resulting localized cellular inflammation acts as the functional on switch for building new muscle tissue. This cross-section shows the mTOR pathway, the primary controller of protein synthesis, which remains dormant unless it is triggered by that acute inflammatory stress. Ice baths are designed specifically to extinguish that inflammation as quickly as possible. Physiology is a game of trade-offs. You cannot rapidly remove the inflammatory stress without also interrupting the signal for growth. This conflict was put to the test in a landmark 2015 study by Roberts and colleagues, which followed two groups of men through a 12-week strength program. Following every session, one group performed a light cool-down on a bike, while the other spent 10 minutes in a 10°C ice bath. The results showed a significant disparity. The group that used the bike gained more muscle mass and strength than the group that used the ice bath. At the micro level, the cold exposure blunted satellite cell activity and blocked the anabolic signals needed for repair. This suppression isn't temporary. The biological signals required for growth can remain silenced for up to 2 full days after the plunge. A 10-minute ice bath creates a biological ripple effect that persists for 48 hours, long after the initial cold has worn off. By prioritizing the immediate removal of soreness, these lifters accidentally switched off their body's ability to adapt and grow. Choosing the right recovery method requires identifying which path you are currently on. Cold water isn't a bad tool, but its utility depends on your specific objective. For a competitive athlete, like a soccer player with back-to-back games, the immediate priority is restoring power output and reducing perceived fatigue. In this context, the ice bath is a performance tool. Sacrificing a small amount of long-term muscle growth is an acceptable trait to ensure they can compete at full strength the next day. When the goal is winning the immediate game, the cold plunge remains a vital asset for maintaining performance. For the lifter in a dedicated hypertrophy phase, the workout itself is the competition. Maximizing cellular inflammation is the primary objective of the session. Lifters who still want the systemic benefits of the cold should follow the 4-hour rule. Waiting a minimum of 4 to 6 hours after the final set allows the acute mTOR signals to complete their work before the cold is introduced. Optimal recovery is defined by your goal. Know exactly what you are training for and choose your tools based on the science of that outcome. If you want to grow, embrace the heat and the inflammation. If you want more science-backed investigations into fitness trends, hit subscribe and join the conversation in the comments.